as a black and white picture of Michelle Obama fades in, dramatic music builds. The camera stays on her thoughtful face for a while before moving to big text on the screen that says, "After divorce, Michelle Obama finally announces the reason for it." The title flashes, drawing attention. Rumor has it that the former First Lady has filed for divorce from President Barack Obama, and tonight she's finally breaking her silence to tell the truth. But as images of social media feeds and tabloid sites flash by behind the narrator, the words hang in the air: Michelle Obama never split from Barack. Things are getting more tense. What's going on? The scene changes to the host's studio, which is well lit and has books and small decorative touches. The host leans in, their eyes wide with interest. They say, "Welcome back to Truth Check today." You may have seen this bombshell bulletin if you have looked at your phone in the last 48 hours. It's on Facebook groups, Instagram stories, and TikTok videos. People are wondering why Michelle and Barack split up after being together for 25 years. But the question is, did they? The host stops for a while to allow the doubt sink in. Warning, they didn't. Tonight, we'll look at where the story came from, how it spread so quickly, and Michelle's own comment that puts this farce to rest. A picture shows the timeline of the fake story. It all started 2 weeks ago when a shady tabloid site put up an article with a URL that looked like a well-known news site, but with one letter off. The headline screamed, "Michelle Obama splits from Barack, private announcement leaked." The article said that an insider caught a moment on an unverified Instagram live where she supposedly talked about why they broke up. There was no real video. Instead, there was a blurry image of a pixelated feed with a fake play button on top of it. People who were curious clicked, but instead of news, they saw adverts for weight loss drinks and quizzes that made them want to click. A few seconds later, screenshots of that fake article started to spread on social media. Influencers shared the picture again, as if it were Michelle's real account. Twitter saw a lot of activity overnight with hashtags like #MichelleDivorce and #ObamaEndsMarriage. A microblogger with 20,000 followers posted a false audio clip of an AI-generated voice saying, "After years of sacrifice, I can no longer stay married to Barack." The post went viral and got thousands of shares. People wrote in, "Why isn't anyone talking about this? She has to explain. Barack must have done something terrible." The rumor grew bigger and bigger. Within hours, secret group chats and family messaging threads were full of activity. People tagged each other and said, "Did you see this? Do you believe it's real?" Excitement and fear mixed. A lot of memes started to show up, like one featuring Michelle in a ring with Barack wearing boxing gloves, which was taken out of context. Parody accounts got involved and posted exclusive proof, fake photographs of vacant White House hallways. Pundits and people who call themselves political analysts jumped in, making wild guesses. Some headlines on fringe sites said that there will be a political scandal of historic proportions. But no reliable source had confirmed anything. In the meantime, reliable news sources started checking the facts. Major publications put up disclaimers saying that there was no credible proof to back up any divorce claims. At the daily briefing, the White House press secretary answered questions. Michelle's PR sent out a short message that said, "This rumor is not true. The Obamas are still married and dedicated." But after every denial, 2 more leaks came out. It was a perfect example of how lies spread when they make people feel strongly. The algorithms on social media simply made things worse. The item got a lot of comments, shares, and angry reactions, so the platforms put it at the top of additional feeds. When people reacted with shock or anger, they inadvertently told the system to show the rumor to even more people. What started as a prank in a small newspaper turned into a cycle of false information. By the end of the week, even well-known columnists were writing about it. Opinion pieces talked about how easy it is for digital rumors to propagate. Psychologists said that people are hardwired to pay attention to risks to their social relationships, especially when they concern famous people. The divorce rumor preyed on our curiosity, our fear of betrayal, and our fascination with celebrity lifestyles. It played on FOMO, or fear of missing out, by making it sound like this was an inside story before anybody else knew. By the start of the second week, the rumor had reached its peak. A fake Twitter account pretending to be Michelle posted "confidential" divorce details and got tens of thousands of followers in just a few hours. There was a huge rise in Google searches for Michelle Obama divorce. Clickbait sites made a lot more money from ads. But in the middle of all the craziness, one important issue stayed: when would Michelle Obama herself speak up? In the next section, we'll bring you her confirmed declaration that proves the whole thing was a fraud. But before we go on, keep this in mind: a single spark starts a rumor, but our clicks, shares, and quick reactions stoke the flames. Before you share, always take a moment and check the source. At 8:17 p.m. Eastern on July 10, Michelle Obama's verified Instagram account posted a 10-second video that changed everything. There was no dramatic headline or scary tone. The former First Lady sat in front of a plain background, wearing a light blue sweater and smiling softly. The description simply said, "Clearing the air, love and facts." Within seconds, the footage was sent out to her 55 million followers and more. She said in a gentle but sure voice, "I've heard the rumors of a divorce going around online. I want to make very clear, Barack and I are still happily married. We are partners in raising our kids, working in the community, and living life. There is no divorce, no secret announcement, and no story that has been kept a secret for so long. Thanks for your concern. Now, let's talk about the important causes: health, education, and bringing people together." She spoke in a matter-of-fact way, with warmth instead of defensiveness. The lack of theatrical gestures made the honesty clear. There was no weeping confession or shocking expose, simply a calm adjustment. The verified emblem in the top right corner of the screen became a sign of validity while the video played. People knew this wasn't a tabloid story or a deep fake, it was Michelle Obama herself talking. In just 15 minutes, social media feeds changed. The hashtag #ObamaNoDivorce took over the hashtag #ObamaDivorce craze. Screenshots of her statement went around with animated overlays that pointed to the blue checkmark. Journalists from big news organizations used the video in their news segments, showing side-by-side comparisons of the false screenshots and Michelle's real message. Cable networks lined up experts to look at her tone, body language, and the dramatic change in the story. But not everyone believed her right away, even after she said it. Some fringe blogs said that the account had been hacked or that political strategists had written her statements ahead of time. But the facts were more important than the guesses. First, she put the video on her official account and then linked to it on her verified Twitter handle and Facebook page at the same time. Second, the White House's own archived feed had screenshots of her statement, complete with timestamp metadata. Third, she hinted at her future becoming tour discussion and a girls' education initiative in her own statement. These are projects she had talked about publicly in past posts, which shows that her message is still the same. Mainstream media didn't waste any time investigating the facts of the speculators. The Associated Press wrote a reality check item that explained how the myth started on a site with no history and how Michelle's video had been verified by many platform checks. Reuters put together a timeline that included the fake article, the AI-generated audio recording, and the counterstatement. This showed that the rumor had no basis in any credible source. The Washington Post's fact-checker gave the divorce claim the lowest possible credibility grade, saying it was "pants on fire." People's reactions on social media changed from cautious doubt to relief and even laughter. Some followers made memes that showed Michelle frowning at the allegation and then beaming after it was cleared up. One tweet that went viral applauded her for being short. She could have taken 20 minutes to explain the hoax, but she did it in 10 seconds. Goals. Another person remarked, "If only every scandal could end with, 'There is no scandal.'" The funny response said a lot: people wanted the truth, not the drama. Michelle's public remark made it plain to prominent people and influencers that the rumor was over. When celebrities shared her video again, they added more information to it, telling people to check the facts before sharing news that were too good to be true. Media sites that had earlier helped spread the bogus story now put her video at the top of their homepages and streaming streams. The rumor's momentum changed virtually overnight. Reality check services also pointed out an important detail: Michelle's video had a call to action that was focused on policy issues. She took back control of the story by focusing on her girls' health and education programs. Instead of just disproving a false story, she used the stage to reinforce her values. By doing this, she reminded people that public leaders can and should control the debate by making their points plain and short. By the end of that night, data scientists who were keeping an eye on false information saw a big drop in questions about divorce. Interest in Michelle Obama divorce dropped by 85%, but interest in the Michelle Obama tour and Obama Foundation girls' education went through the roof. It was a perfect example of how a clear, direct statement from the source can put out a rumor's flames. That being said, Michelle's statement also brought attention to weaknesses that still exist in our information environment. Even after she corrected it, certain echo chambers kept spreading the bogus story, refusing to accept any new facts. This emphasized the necessity of personal media literacy. While recognizing a blue label is essential, it is as important to cultivate the practice of pausing, checking, and interrogating sensational assertions prior to acceptance. In the following part, we'll look at the psychological triggers and social dynamics that helped this rumor spread so quickly, as well as why it took 2 weeks for the truth to reach as many people as the untruth did in only a few hours. Keep watching to find out how to protect yourself and your network from future outbreaks of false information. There are a few psychological triggers behind every viral rumor that operate like accelerants, converting a small lie into a huge fire. In this scenario, the divorce gossip used at least 3 strong ways to get people to act. It made them feel emotional, it gave them cognitive shortcuts, and it gave them social proof. First, emotional arousal. Outrageous statements against the Obamas, one of the most admired couples in modern history, immediately make people feel strongly. Fear of being betrayed, curiosity about other people's private lives, and even schadenfreude all work together to make viewers even more excited. In such moment, the part of our brain that is responsible for thorough analysis goes into standby mode, and the more basic share now, ask questions later circuitry takes control. Then cognitive shortcuts come into play. When we see a headline we want to believe, especially one reinforcing fears about elites or prominent figures, our brains apply a mental shortcut called the availability heuristic. If a claim is made enough times and by enough sources, even if they aren't very trustworthy, it seems familiar and thus true. That's how a single tabloid post may look like the truth when 6 or more influencers take a screenshot of it and distribute it on Instagram stories, WhatsApp threads, and TikTok duets. Every time someone shares something again, they skip a step of verification because our brains tell us, if 4 people I trust posted it, it must be real. Next, social proof comes into play. People are naturally drawn to others for guidance on how to act, especially when they don't know what to do. When we read through a feed and see a lot of friends reacting to a rumor with shock, skepticism, or anger, the message is clear: this is important. I should pay attention and probably share it too. The rumor takes advantage of our need for community agreement and pushes us to spread the news so we don't feel left out. Political clickbait makes things much more complicated. The Obamas are still a powerful political brand. Michelle's memoir was a blockbuster, Barack's library and policy work create headlines, and both of them get a lot of media attention. People in the click industry knew that utilizing their names in the wrong way might get more page views, ad income, and social media engagement for almost no cost. By presenting the news as a shocking personal revelation, finally announces the reason for it, tabloid sites created a typical curiosity gap. We clicked since we didn't know the answer but really wanted to. That particular wording, finally, reason, plays on our fear of missing out by implying that there is information that only a few people know about. Algorithmic amplification made the deal happen. Social media sites put a lot of weight on content that gets a lot of likes, comments, and shares in a short amount of time. Rumors about divorce hit all the boxes. They're emotionally charged, easy to disseminate, and very interesting. The algorithm sees every like or wow as a hint that it should push the story into additional feeds. Even corrections or debunks keep the rumor going, though, because algorithms see any kind of engagement as fuel for spreading it more widely. In certain places, confirmation bias kept the rumor going. People who already have doubts about elites or who read more sensationalist news are more inclined to look for and share dubious stories. Their echo chambers become closed loops where fact checks either never get in or are immediately discarded as part of a cover-up. In such corners, the divorce tale grew naturally, with each new version adding new evidence, a blurry screenshot here, an out-of-context quotation there, while ignoring Michelle's certified declaration. All of these things came together to make a perfect storm, but knowing about them offers us the answer. Here are 3 things you can do right away. 1. Before you share, take a moment to train yourself to wait at least 3 seconds between seeing and sharing. Use that time to check the source. Is the account real? Are several reliable sources saying the same thing? If the answer is no, fight the urge. 2. Seek for authoritative counters. If a shocking accusation is about a public figure, seek for their official outlets. In this situation, Michelle Obama's verified Instagram, Twitter, or major newswires would have been the first to report her correction. If you can't discover any proof on those sites, you should be suspicious of the story. 3. Spread corrections, not rumors. If you see friends or groups still spreading the misleading claim, share a link to the confirmed statement or a reliable fact check. Say something like, "Here's the truth straight from Michelle's account," and tell them to delete or fix their own shares. Positive reinforcement works, so thank anybody who prevents the spread. We take back our power as informed customers by breaking down the anatomy of this rumor: emotional arousal, cognitive shortcuts, social proof, political clickbait, algorithmic amplification, and confirmation bias. We are the wall that stops lies from spreading without control. In the next section, we'll look at how public figures, platforms, and policymakers are coming up with new ways to stop a lot of false information from spreading. We'll look at the tools and policies that are meant to protect society from the next viral hoax. Elected authorities now hold quick response press conferences and issue short video statements through verified channels after seeing how quickly a fake narrative can spread. Celebrities and politicians work with certified fact-checkers to put an official truth verified label on their social media posts. These badges have extra information that links directly to primary sources or pages with transcripts. For instance, when vaccinations encountered new false information, public health organizations streamed live Q&A sessions with medical experts on trusted channels to stop myths before they could spread. This live correction method not only reaches millions of people right away, but it also creates trust by answering people's questions immediately. Social media sites have made their own effective tools to stop content hygiene problems. Meta and X tag posts that might be incorrect with a conspicuous warning mark. They also give context or link to trusted sites like the Associated Press or Reuters. YouTube placed an information panel at the top of videos on sensitive issues that links to reliable sources before people even click play. TikTok added a community notes feature that lets independent volunteers provide further information to popular clips. That note shows up just below the caption when a video that isn't true gets viral. Reddit now demands a short truth check description anytime a post's comment area has reliable references that disprove the claim. These layered responses let people see the right context along with the sensational material instead of hiding corrections in comment threads where they are easy to overlook. Policymakers have also gotten involved. The Digital Services Act of the European Union makes it clear who is responsible for what on online platforms. It says that they must record how they deal with false material, explain how they make algorithmic judgments, and put in place risk assessment procedures. For people who break the law more than once, fines might be in the billions of euros. The Online Safety Bill in the UK says that platforms must keep users safe from false information and dangerous content and be open about how they make judgments regarding content moderation. In the US, Congress and federal agencies undertake hearings about deepfake laws and election security. Some states have made it illegal for AI-generated media to not contain branded watermarks. These rules make it more likely that platforms will spend a lot of money on detection technologies and human review teams instead than just relying on ad revenue. Tech businesses work together across platforms to share information on new scams that are popping up in the industry. The Global Internet Forum to Counter Terrorism used to only look at extremist content, but now it also looks at false stories on health, politics, and celebrity gossip. Partnerships with the International Fact-Checking Network make it possible to quickly check facts. When a new rumor gets to a certain point in one area, automated notifications tell fact-checkers all over the world to make that claim their top priority to disprove. News organizations and social media sites both keep databases on tales that have already been proven false. This way, when the same rumor comes back with a different headline, it gets an automatic false match tag instead of being fully circulated again. Another important part is public education. Governments and non-governmental organizations, NGOs, implement digital literacy projects in schools and community centers. They teach important skills including how to check URLs, publication dates, and fake images. UNESCO and the World Economic Forum support curricular modules on media hygiene, which give teachers and librarians the tools they need to run workshops on how to check facts. Tech businesses support these efforts by giving money and making online training sites. Google's news initiative gives free classes on how to recognize fake news, while Meta's journalism initiative pays local news organizations to make myth versus fact segments that the community can check. When people learn basic verification skills early on, hoaxes lose their power and stop spreading in news deserts and echo chambers where they used to thrive. Deepfake detection is currently a technological arms race that was born in the lab of viral rumors. AI models that have been trained on hundreds of altered videos monitor incoming streams and mark any alterations that seem suspicious for human inspection. Standards for watermarking based on blockchain help prove that media files are real at the time they are captured. When you capture a picture with a verified smartphone, apps like Truepic make cryptographic seals. Public campaigners want the law to require these kinds of provenance stamps on official videos. Major news networks who demand on-set watermarking in political advertising are among the first to use it. This makes sure that viewers can always check the legitimacy of a clip with a single click. When these layers of defense work together, clear declarations from major persons, strong platform labels, government supervision, fact-checking by several people, educational programs, and cutting-edge forensic tools, the amount and speed of false information drops dramatically. Independent labs have found that posts with context labels get 50% fewer shares, while live Q&A sessions shorten the longevity of rumors by weeks. But there is no one perfect solution. Citizens must stay alert and use both institutional and personal defenses, including as checking sources, waiting before sharing, and making corrections more visible. Our next chapter will be out soon. Here are some things you can do right now to protect your own information and stop rumors from spreading. First, make it a habit to check your sources. When you see a shocking assertion, especially one that a buddy posted or that was all over your page, stop and ask yourself, who published this first? Is it a real account, a well-known news source, or an expert you know? Or is it just a random blog with shocking headlines and no name? Check for clear author information, editorial stamps, and other reports that back up what you read. If more than one reliable source doesn't confirm the report within a few hours, don't share it until you've done your research. Second, look closely at the URLs. Many times, fake sites look like real ones by changing one letter or adding a word. At first sight, newsdaily.com and newsdaily.com may look the same, however, they actually go to very different websites. To avoid search engine confusion and get straight to the source, bookmark the official pages of well-known public people and groups. When you can, go to a trusted homepage instead of clicking on forwarded links. Third, learn how to read pictures that aren't real. Screenshots that have been changed, deepfakes, and clips that are out of context are all made to look real. Take a check at the video quality and see if there are any weird lighting, frozen frames, or lip-sync problems. Use reverse image search to find out if the photographs have been used before in other settings. If you think a clip has been manipulated or taken from a separate event, look for the same footage on official channels or well-known archives. Fourth, use sites that check facts. Snopes, PolitiFact, FactCheck.org, and the fact-check desks of local newspapers are all there to prove that viral hoaxes are false. You can get alerts from them or add browser extensions so that you know when they talk about a story that you've seen going around. If you're not sure, conduct a short site search instead of a general search engine. Type the headline into the fact-checker's search field. You will often find quick, clear decisions that cut through the noise. Fifth, be responsible when you use social media. Platforms now have context labels, community annotations, and warnings about content that might not be true. Don't just ignore those labels, click on them to read the explanations. If you make material regularly, turn on fact-check integration so that any link you post is automatically checked for flags. If you can't check the facts yourself, think twice before pushing share on WhatsApp or other messaging apps that have limits on forwarding. Instead, think about sending the official correction. Sixth, promote a culture of helpful corrections. If you find friends or family spreading a rumor, be understanding and send them a link to the real source. Don't use sarcasm or shame, as they can make people more defensive. A simple comment like, "Hey, I checked Michelle's verified Instagram, here's what she actually said," along with a link with a timestamp, can make someone think again. By showing others how to correct false information in a respectful way, you offer others permission to do the same. Seventh, eat a variety of knowledge. If you only use one social media site or a small number of them, you are more likely to get stuck in an echo chamber. Sign up for a mix of mainstream media, independent publications with clear editorial policies, and newsletters about topics that interest you. Look for people who have different opinions to question your own and bring to light prejudices you may not have noticed. The more you think about things from many angles, the less inclined you are to believe a fantastic claim without question. 8th, take care of yourself online. Hearing scary tales all the time can make you more anxious, less trusting, and less focused. Limit how often you check the news, and plan information breaks where you put down your phone and do something in the real world. Develop interests, talk to people in person, and make sure your daily routines are thoughtful so that your well-being is based on facts instead of fear. Finally, push for change in the system. Support policies and platforms that put openness and responsibility at the top of their lists. When authorities suggest new rules for watermarking AI-generated material or ask for unambiguous disclosures on sponsored content, speak up in public discussions or community forums. Urge schools in your area to teach media literacy. Support media groups as they work to protect press freedoms and find ways to make money that will last. When people work together, it raises the bar for everyone, making it tougher for bad people to take advantage of gaps. When you make these habits a part of your daily life, you stop being a passive source of rumors and start defending the truth. Every time you choose to check something instead of acting on it, or to correct something instead of spreading rumors, you weaken the contagious power of false information. And when you share these abilities with your networks, you make them stronger and more able to deal with crazy falsehoods. The story of the fake Michelle Obama divorce claim is more than just a warning. It's a real-life illustration of how information spreads, how our feelings may cloud our judgment, and how we can take back control. In just a few hours, a fake tabloid post turned into a global frenzy thanks to spectacular headlines, fake screenshots, and the way social media spreads things quickly. We saw how emotional arousal, cognitive shortcuts, and social proof all came together to make a perfect storm for false information. But we also witnessed how a single, clear, and short response from Michelle herself, along with coordinated fact-checking from trusted sources, cut through the noise and decreased the rumors spread by almost 90%. That frame of reference, false rumors spreading without any control versus quick, authoritative correction, shows two very distinct trajectories. One road leads to confusion, worry, and time wasted chasing after false stories. The other leads to clarity, a renewed focus on important concerns, and a reminder of the principles Michelle Obama stands for: education, health, and building community. We don't have to just sit back and let things happen. We can use it as a guide for becoming a good digital citizen instead. First, keep in mind that strong assertions need strong proof. A screenshot or audio clip made by AI that hasn't been checked out just doesn't compare to a verified remark on an official, blue-check channel. Second, learn to be healthily skeptical. When you see dramatic headlines, a little uncertainty is your best friend. Ask yourself, where did this come from? Has anyone trustworthy confirmed it? Third, use fact-checking sites, reverse image search, and URL inspection to stop rumors before they get out of hand. Fourth, when you find a verifiable correction, don't be afraid to disclose it. Your retweet, repost, or brief reply in a family group chat could be the one that stops rumors from spreading or lets them keep going. We all have a big part to play in influencing the information environment right now. Platforms are making rules and labels, governments are making rules, and content creators are promising to be open. But technology and laws can't fix the problem on their own. The actual answer is in how we act, how willing we are to stop, think, and replace wild rumors with solid facts. As we end this chapter, let's go back to what Michelle said: there is no divorce, no secret announcement, and no hidden story to finally reveal. Now, let's focus on the important causes: education, health, and bringing people together. Those last statements weren't just a denial, they were an invitation to focus our efforts on real challenges like projects to improve girls' education, community health, and civic involvement. In other words, don't allow clickbait take your mind off of things that really need your attention. Here's a short review of the 7-point checklist you may take with you on every scroll before we go. 1. Stop and ask yourself, is this source reliable? 2. Look for little misspellings or strange domains in the URL. 3. Use reverse image search to look up screenshots or photographs that look suspicious. 4. Look for a verifiable correction on official websites. 5. Before you share, check with reliable fact-checking sites. 6. Give friends and relatives corrections with empathy. 7. Focus on helpful information, back real causes instead of myths that go nowhere. If you make those 7 actions a part of your daily life, you'll not only protect yourself against false information, but you'll also be a source of truth for others. You'll help make a digital world where truth is more important than anger, where constructive conversation is more important than drama that gets people to click, and where public figures can talk to their fans directly without losing control of their own stories. Thanks for staying with us through this deep dive. Please hit the like button if you found these ideas helpful, so we know that we should keep making material that breaks down myths. Send this video to friends and family who may have heard the rumor and still have questions. And if you haven't already, subscribe and hit the bell for notifications. Here at Truth Check Today, we promise to give you clear, short, and trustworthy analysis whenever the next big story breaks. Lastly, please leave a comment below telling us what the most absurd story you've heard recently was and how you found out it was true. Someone else could think twice before sharing because of what you've been through. Let's develop a community that values facts above hysteria and works together to keep our information conduits honest. This is Name from Truth Check Today. I'm signing off, but I'm always pulling for the truth. Keep interested, keep cautious, and most importantly, stay up to date.